It is a miracle that Tekashi 6ix9ine is still alive, from homeless in Brooklyn, New York, to surviving a shootout in the Barclays Center, getting kidnapped, getting jumped countless of times, and we can't forget that he snitched on one of the biggest gangs in New York City. He declined Fed protection after he was told that his life was in serious jeopardy, all to come right back into the spotlight with top artists wanting to work with him, dominating the Billboard charts.
Only two things I'm scared of in life. God first, and the FBI.
It started in Brooklyn, where Tekashi was desperate to say the least. His father didn't come into his life until he was 9 years old and was in and out of his life due to drugs and jail, and his stepfather was murdered when Tekashi was just 13 years old outside of the family home. His real name is Daniel Hernandez, and he was described by those who knew him early on as shy, mellow, and scared. That was until he came up with the persona Tekashi, which he got after a tattoo artist in Brooklyn because he liked the name and liked 69, so Tekashi 6ix9ine was born. Rainbow colored hair, 69 tattoos all over his body, and a bunch of controversial incidents to go with it, much different from the Daniel Hernandez that those from Brooklyn knew. He started rapping with Scum Gang, a rap group out of Brooklyn that associated with the Crips. They would help Tekashi tweak his music, but when he started to get attention, Tekashi wouldn't put the rest of the group on, and he wanted all the attention. They called him selfish, and the two split. Tekashi would link up with Trippie Redd and drop the song Pulls, which really put him on, and once he dropped Gummo, he took over the charts. But Trippie Redd would quit associating with Tekashi after calling him a pedophile after he released a video of a 13-year-old girl in a hotel room, where much more happened than that. And Tekashi wasn't directly involved in any of the acts, but he was there and posted it to the internet. This caused a domino effect, and more people started blackballing him. So Tekashi turned on everyone, and he takes Trippie Redd's baby mom on a shopping spree and showed it for the whole world to see, adding more targets on his back. And to add even more, he recorded the music video for Billy outside of his aunt's house with the Nine Trey Gangsta Bloods with a sea of red behind him, after he was just associating with the Crips. Shotty of Nine Trey saw Tekashi had talent and ended up becoming his manager, and the two became very close, and Tekashi had gang protection, especially because Shotty was a high rank and well respected within Nine Trey. This would be another huge boost to Tekashi, as he would feel as if he had a whole gang behind him, and he would bring tons of money into Nine Trey. This eventually would lead to Tekashi beefing with rapper Casanova at the Barclays Center for a boxing match. Shots were fired backstage as the crews beefed. Nobody was struck, however, this would be a huge blow to Tekashi 6ix9ine's career. All his booked shows would get canceled, and any venue was afraid to get anywhere near 6ix9ine, worried about the antics and what would come with it. As the artist appeared, he was going off the rails. But, of course, Tekashi wasn't done, and he would start touring internationally and gaining more and more attention and fame, and Shotty, his manager, would roll with him on the road, $100K minimum a show. But back home, the feds had gathered enough evidence on Tekashi and Nine Trey to execute a search warrant on his home. This resulted in a firearm being found, along with other evidence, including a backpack that was taken from a member of the Scum Gang who Nine Trey had jumped back in April. Tekashi was charged with federal RICO and firearms charges, including conspiracy to murder and armed robbery, and was facing up to life in prison. It was all over. All the shows, the fame, the drama. Tekashi's back was against the wall. He got arrested for the charges and got locked up, but he was moved right away, giving us a sense that he was cooperating. And he was. He turned on Nine Trey, telling authorities about when he was kidnapped by the gang, admitting to putting a hit on Chief Keef in Times Square, cooperating with authorities, and getting his sentence reduced to 24 months.
I've heard of people telling on each other, ratting on, on the organization, but he ratted on other organizations on top of his organization, his friends, his people he just went berserk.
He sang like a canary.
That motherfucker sang like Aretha Franklin.
Fast forward, and Tekashi gets released, and I thought he would be canceled, but he released the songs Gooba and Trolls with Nicki Minaj, and yeah, he was right back where he left off and didn't miss a beat. Since then, each day he has been alive seems like borrowed time, and recently he's been seen at the World Baseball Classic, taunting Puerto Rico fans, and it looks like he's on something. and most recently, he was jumped inside LA Fitness. You can say what you want saying he's asking for it. Now I can understand if Nine Trey came after 6ix9ine, but random people to jump him to get clout by jumping the clout king, to me it's a weak move, and they ended up sending 6ix9ine to the hospital. But he puts out that energy and naturally it does come back.